under 2 hours, and it looks like he's bang on track to do that.
Eliud just took his last swig of a water bottle, and notice he didn't really drink much, but there's this, it's been proven in science that just swishing the fluids around in your mouth gives you a surge of energy and as if like you're just consuming much. But he didn't really drink that much, but that was his last water bottle, I assume.
Well, they are comfortably on the last lap here, the last loop of this 9.6 kilometer loop, and he's smiling again. Now, people can smile for different reasons, mostly because they're happy. We've said that Eliud often smiles when it's really hurting. At what point does that smile, Shalane, become a realization that he's going to do this?
I would only assume is when the finish line is in sight. That's the only reason to smile, because the marathon is an unknown beast and you never know, you can never get too confident. So even though he may be feeling good or not so good, you can never swing in emotion too strongly either way. But usually the smiling right now, I think, is because he's hurting, but hopefully there'll be a mixed smile of pain and pleasure at the finish.
Just over 4 minutes to go, and the pacemakers we are expecting to peel off and let him have the Hauptallee to himself to enjoy the moment, an historic moment as we click ever closer to the magic figure of 1:59.59. As things stand, he will be comfortably inside 2 hours. Ed, how are you feeling from here?
I feel like a bundle of nerves. Who thought they were going to see this in 2019? We haven't seen it yet, but who thought that this was possible in 2019? Yes, there are some, parts of this which are, artificial in terms of the pacemakers, whatever. It's not a race. But who thought you'd see someone run sub-2 in 2019? It is beyond the imagination.
When the conversation first started for the sub-2 effort, I said, no way in my lifetime will I witness a sub-2 hour marathon. I truly did not believe I would be able to witness something like this.
Well, the pace car will be peeling away at 41 kilometers, and then it'll be down to the pacemakers themselves to bring Eliud home, and all being well, they will then peel off as well and leave Eliud to run home the final few hundred meters. 1.2 kilometers to go. He is almost there. He has one hand on history here in Vienna. There's Grace, his wife, looking on. She's never seen him race before in the flesh, remember. What a moment for her. What a moment for the children. The pace car has gone. We've lost the laser.
He's getting quicker.
It's now all down to Eliud and the pacemaker.
The gloves are off.
He's getting quicker.
He's racing right now. This is racing.
Well, this is true racing. Shalane knows what this feels like through the streets of Central Park in New York, whether it's in Berlin or London. But today is all about Vienna. Today is all about Eliud Kipchoge. We're down to the last couple of minutes to bring him home. Ed, some final thoughts from you.
I'm overjoyed that particularly this man has got to do this. It's not just the barrier being broken, it's something that has existed in this person's head for so long, and it's so gratifying to watch him achieve that.
He's almost there. He can see the finish line. That's the view from Eliud Kipchoge. You can see the finish line where we are looming into view. 1:57 and approaching 1:58. I think we can say with some certainty now that he's going to do it. He's going to do it. He's going.
He's telling him to move away.
Come on, he says. Come on, this is it. Shalane, a final thought from you.
This is incredible. Eliud's performance is such a gift to the world. His running is a gift to all of us. I feel so blessed to be here today. I hope everyone can hear me smiling through this microphone right now. I cannot stop smiling.
500 meters to go. He has the Hauptallee to himself. All the pacemakers have let him go. As Ed said, he is sprinting into the history books here. They're cheering him on. 400 meters to go. Let's bring him home. This is history unfolding on the streets of Vienna this morning. It's a Saturday run like we've never seen before. Listen at the noise. The crowd getting right behind him. Goodness me, 300 meters to go. He can see the finish line here. Neil Armstrong we had on the moon in 1969. We had Roger Bannister, the 4-minute mile 65 years ago. Edmund Hillary, the first man to climb Everest in 1953. We have 1 minute to go. Eliud Kipchoge is on his way here.
It's not going to be a minute.
This humble farmer who used to run 2 miles to school every day and back. He used to go to the nearest town on his bike to sell milk at the local market. And hand of history on his shoulder. He has less than 200 meters to go. Eliud Kipchoge, let's keep an eye on the clock, into the final 20 seconds. Eliud first man to run a marathon in under 2 hours. One final lung-busting stride for Kipchoge. One giant leap for human endeavour. And you know, Kipchoge was right. No human is limited. And now he can celebrate. He has done it. And to Roger Bannister, Neil Armstrong, Edmund Hillary, we can now add the name of Eliud Kipchoge. Shalane, sum it up for us.
I would like to just thank Eliud for sharing his gift with the world, with us today in the City of Dreams. He created an absolute masterpiece that will never be forgotten.
Ed.
That was absolutely beautiful. That last kilometer was absolutely beautiful, with his teammates cheering him on from behind. He's now been held aloft by all of his teammates. There's thousands of people with cameras who want to hug him. There's a Kenyan flag. It's pandemonium at the finish line. He's gone crazy. You wouldn't have thought he'd just run a marathon.
No, he looks phenomenal. There are people crying in the crowd.
Well, it was a very carefully choreographed plan for the finish, but that's completely been ripped up and thrown out of the window because Eliud Kipchoge is on. He's still got energy. How on earth do you have the energy to run like this after running at 13 miles an hour for 2 hours? There you can see the unofficial time. We may take a minute or two to make that the official time, but 1:59:40.2 is the unofficial time. Comfortably inside 2 hours, and the Olympic champion, the world record holder, the greatest marathon runner the world has ever seen, is now in the history books. And they are going berserk right in front of our commentary position here.
We could just see his physio, his long-time physio.
Crying, wiping tears away.
Peter, he is a tough guy who hurts people for a living. He puts his thumbs deep in their muscles and he is weeping in front of our commentary box here.
I want to give everyone a hug.
There is his wife. What on earth must she be thinking? You choose a race to go and watch your husband race for the first time. This is not a bad
It's
point.
a good one. It's a good one.
Yes.
It's a good one.
I wonder what his kids are going to say later today. Oh, Dad, it was okay. It was pretty good.
We see all the Kenyan flags here. This is such a big moment for Kenya, for East Africa, and it's incredible that we're watching this supreme athlete from Kenya do this on the world stage.
There they are. His children watching on with great pride. And I wonder what Eliud is thinking as well, because anybody who's a parent knows that it makes a difference. It makes a difference to see and do something in front of your children. So it's been extraordinary here. We hope you've enjoyed our coverage from the commentary box. Thanks very much to Ed Caesar and to Shalane Flanagan. Brilliant insight and analysis as always. The celebrations, I'm sure, will last long into the night. We're going to repair somewhere for breakfast. But Gabby, he's done it. And now he can party on the Prater.
Chris Dennis, thank you so much. Shalane Flanagan, Ed Caesar, excellent work there in the commentary booth. But look at these scenes out here. I can't tell you the joy that is radiating from all of the pacemakers, the INEOS team, everyone who has made this possible. His coach, Patrick, he's been with since he was a young boy, grew up in the same village. And these scenes are joyous out here. The family as well. Lynn, Jordan and Griffin, the children next to his wife, Grace, just a little way away from us. They're kind of overwhelmed by what their father and husband has done. He has made history. He has joined a pantheon of greats, humans who push the limits, and to be here amongst this crowd and see the reaction of people who are here is just a special, special moment, a real privilege to see and feel the atmosphere here. There's a scrummage of photographers. They're all desperate to get the shot that they know will be the shot of their lives, potentially. And amongst that throng, just near me here, is Radzi Chinyanganya, who is eventually going to get his microphone under the nose of Eliud Kipchoge. And you can see here Fran Miller bringing him forwards. And there is Eliud Kipchoge walking just past our commentary and studio position. He's heading over here and may be able to get a little word. Oh, he's getting weighed. He's going to get weighed at the moment. This is such an important moment, obviously, for the team to get all his details, get all his data in. And Radzi's just next to us here as well. Eliud's doing the important science. He's obviously got to get that data in. They need this. They need to make sure they know all the details. They've got all of the information going forwards because Eliud Kipchoge will no doubt have another marathon to run. And he hugs team members of INEOS. He has the flag, the Kenyan flag aloft, and hugs more team members. Fran Miller there. An absolutely wonderful scene. Radzi's going to get his microphone in under his nose, I'm sure, any moment now, and we'll hear the thoughts of Eliud Kipchoge. He's a quiet man. He doesn't say a lot, but when he does, it is thoughtful, it's considered. He's such an intelligent figure, a real thinker of running. And there he is now with Radzi. Hi, Eliud. Radzi's good to see you, Eliud, but Radzi's going to have a chat with you.
If you want to come on this side, Eliud, if we come this side, you have just made history.
Yes.
You've become the first man to ever run a sub 2-hour marathon. You've done it.
Yes.
How are you feeling?
I am feeling good. It has taken 65 years for a human being to make history in sport. After Roger Bannister made history in 1954, it took another 63 years. I tried and I did not get. Now it's 65 years. I have tried. I'm the happiest man to run under 2 hours in order to inspire many people, to tell people that no human is limited. You can do it. I'm expecting more of the athletes in this all over the world to run under 2 hours after today.
I mean, what incredible words. Inspiration doesn't do it justice. How hard was that run? How were you feeling at the most painful part?
Actually, I can't say and I can't define, but the first thing is when I woke up at 4:50 to actually the starting time, that's 8:15. It was my hardest times even before the start. The time actually it was 4 hours, but it was like 30 minutes. So it was the hardest times. But all in all, the race is actually, the first kilometer is really hard the way it is. It needs actually the perseverance, it needs dedication, it needs the hard run. Yes.
Your pacemakers were fantastic, start to finish as well.
Absolutely. Remember, the 41 pacemakers are among the best athletes ever in the whole world. From the Matthew Centro, it's the one of the world Olympic champion for 1500, to all the marathoners and everyone, they are the best. I can say, I want to say thank you for them. I want to appreciate them for accepting to do the job. And together, it is not, I am not Eliud Kipchoge, we made this together in this one.
Eliud, to see the reaction that you had, especially from Kenya, with you growing up with a single-parent mother, you're a proud member of the Talai clan. What does this mean to Kenya, especially?
It means a lot to Kenya. I wanted to run under 2 hours in order to tell Kenyans that everybody can step out of his store and actually think positively, do what's required by a human being to do, and all of them can earn a good life. And together, you can make this wall a running wall. And after making a running wall to this wall, you can make this wall a beautiful wall and a peaceful wall.
It's a genuine joy talking to you. It would be remiss of me not to mention your wife and your 3 wonderful children as well, though.
Actually, my wife and my 2 children are giving me more support. I'm happy for them to come and witness the history. They will be among those who made the history. I'm happy for them.
And just finally, Eliud, what image would you like us to take away from this? You genuinely made me cry watching you cross the finish line. What would you like us to remember about this?
Actually, I want to say the positivity of sport. Actually, I want to make the sport a clean sport. I want to make sport an interesting sport whereby all the human beings can run, can wake up very early in the morning, to run. And together when we run this wall, we can make this wall a beautiful wall. you can kick away most of the diseases by just running. It will be a beautiful world.
It's a privilege talking to you. It was a privilege watching you run. And on behalf of every athletics fan around the world, thank you very much.
Thank you too. Thank you very much. Thank you to the whole world. Thank you to those who watched me through Facebook, those who watched me through YouTube, those who watched me live. And I can say, actually, I am appreciating your time that you sit behind your TVs, behind your mobile phones, behind everything, even following through Twitter and everything, that you have made history together, and together you can make this world a beautiful world. Thank you very much.
Eliud, you were great before. You are now an icon. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Immortal, I think. And when he says takes the time to watch me, well, you've made it a little bit less than it ever was, Eliud Kipchoge. And I think you can add to Radzi's words, it's not just athletics fans. I think it's human beings who are in awe and enamoured and impressed by what we just saw. But there's one man that knows him perhaps better than any, and that is his coach, Patrick Sang. And Crystal is with him out in the throng.
It takes a team. Patrick Sang, you're at the heart of that team that made this possible. Right now, your feelings in words, can you describe it to us? It's been 17 years in the making.
I'm still in the moon. I'm yet to come down to heart. Really excited. Happy for him, for what he has achieved. He's actually inspired all of us that we can stretch our limits in our lives, and we can do more than we think we can do.
What was the first thing that you said to him as he crossed that line?
I said, congratulations, you've done it, and you've made history.
Was there ever any doubt, and what was it like actually watching it from the sidelines, knowing that you've done all the work you could have done?
I watched the race from the pacers stand, and I saw the spirits of the pacers, and and I watched the race, the changeover and all that. Everything went perfectly right.
What do you think this means, not only for Eliud, but for the rest of humanity?
For the sport, it's challenging other young athletes and athletes that are still active, that they can stretch and perform better than they think. For the humanity, whatever level you are in, you can move yourself to another level.
And finally, what of that time, and can that be broken?
Of course, Eliud has told us that the records are meant to be broken. So I'm sure down the road somebody will come again and say, I want to try it. But history has been made. The first time to run under 2 hours, it's unbelievable.
What a moment. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for all the people who came to watch, the supporters who came from all over the world to watch. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, I'm delighted to say that Sir Jim Ratcliffe has joined me just outside of the studio, because you've got to go off and do the presentation. This was Eliud's dream, but it was your dream as well. What does it feel like to see it come into fruition?
Sensational, really. It's quite difficult to believe it's actually happened, because it happened so quickly. But that last kilometre, where he actually accelerated and he came through on his own, it was superhuman, really. I can't believe he did it. I can't believe he ran the first half. He ran the first half marathon in less than an hour, and then he had to do that again.
The mind boggles for anybody who's just a normal human being, and these guys aren't. But the pacemakers, the technology, and everything that you have added into this mix, to see it come off today.
It's been immaculately well organised. Everything has to go right to do this. But I think it's so nice to see the pacers being part of this, because normally running is such a solitary sport. You run for yourself, and here they're all running for someone else, and they are just so full of enthusiasm. These, the pace guys are all world-class athletes. They're the best athletes in the world, and they're all running for Eliud. They've never done anything like that before. It's almost like a new sport for them,
Congratulations. I know you've got the presentation to do as well. Thank you so much, Jim, and well done. And well done to you and all of your team, because this is the feeling today, actually, that Jim's right. It's a solitary sport, but today was about being part of a team, whether it was the pacemakers, Shalane, or all the people, Ed, who've been involved in this. And I think that has come out in the feeling in this crowd.
Well, I'm still shaking from the performance. I think everyone is either weeping or shaking and crying. It's been incredible.
The image that I'll remember is of him coming up the final straight with the other pacers cheering and whooping behind him. This was one guy being propelled, really, he had to do it himself, but he couldn't have done it without the rest of them. So,
well, the presentation is going to be a trophy, which obviously is a one of a kind, really, because guess what? Nobody's ever had the sub 2 hour trophy before. And I think it's really more of a symbol. It's a symbolic gesture to Eliud. And I know that later today he will take his pacemakers and he will present them with trophies and awards as well, because he realises just how important they were, not just in setting the pace, but in boosting his morale and keeping him going when it got a little bit tough for him out there. It didn't appear to get massively tough because he hides it well, as we know. But he really is a team man, and he's enjoyed the camaraderie of everybody with him.
We actually thought that he went through a bit of a sticky patch, in the middle there, and he really had to talk himself out of it. So,
well, we have witnessed history. It has been an incredible 2 hours here in Vienna. You were part of history. Goodbye.
Have joined Eliud.
So we are here in the, it feels a little, I was going to say the calm after the storm, but I don't think it has calmed down yet, has it, Shalane and Ed Caesar? It feels like there is just this incredible energy out here because the crowds are staying. They haven't dissipated, they haven't gone away when they've seen that incredible landmark broken, that 2 hour marathon broken. They've stayed to enjoy the celebrations. There's been a celebration there where Eliud Kipchoge being held aloft by his pacemakers has been presented with a trophy by Sir Jim Ratcliffe of INEOS, and these will go on. Last night when I was with Sir Jim and Dave Brailsford, they told me that, I said, what are you going to do tomorrow night? What are you going to do tomorrow afternoon? They said, well, actually, Eliud really wants to give his pacemakers something to mark this occasion. And you got the sense of a community of running, Shalane, didn't you, this afternoon, or this morning when you were out there? We've been up so early. I'm not quite sure what time of day it is.
Yeah, Eliud is all about, the team and contributing to the world and to other people. He's always running for something bigger than himself, and that just goes to show right here. This picture encapsulates that. He is all about thanking and appreciating the people that have given to him for this performance today.
Yeah, I was thinking about, just in front of our commentary box, Peter, his longtime masseur, his physio, who has hurt people very deeply with his thumbs over the years, was in floods of tears, this big, strong man. And I thought what it must mean to someone who's actually worked with him for such a long time to see this moment.
And for his children, it's incredible to think that his wife and family have never been to any of his marathons, never been to any of those big city races or his world record, and for them to be here today, well, if you were going to pick one, this would be it. And for them, he's daddy to them. He's a daddy who runs. And when they see the crowds here adoring him, but knowing that they're a beautiful moment with Chris Froome, and he's obviously part of Team INEOS and comes from the world of cycling. He knows just what pain is all about. He knows how hard it is to push yourself through those moments. And there was that lovely bond there, a lovely cuddle between the pair of them. But the Kenyan flags that have been out here today, and not just Kenyan flags. There have been people from all over the world. Bahamas, you mentioned Gold Coast earlier on. A lot of people come from the States as well.
Yesterday we bumped into a lovely family that traveled all the way from Utah, from Park City, Utah, to be here. And I said, why did you travel all this way? And they said, because we want to be here for history. We want to be here for Eliud.
They're the children, Eliud's children, who his sons look slightly kind of bemused. What's going on? What is this all about? Well, you will know, kids, when you are older, and you will see that your daddy, well, this moment is up there, isn't it? It is up there with the likes of Roger Bannister. It is up there with the first steps on the moon. We are talking human endeavour and breaking barriers that well, they weren't predicted to be done for another 15 years or so in the projections that scientists made. But scientists and very clever people around Team INEOS made sure that he had the conditions and everything was perfect. But actually, what they couldn't determine was the weather. And we didn't expect the fog, and we didn't expect the damp, and we didn't expect the humidity today. And maybe that was another 10 or 20 seconds off the time.
It certainly wasn't absolutely perfect, but it's it's a sport, and it's not a scientific experiment, and things go wrong. And he had to really talk himself through some tough times there. It was not a walk in the park. We're in a park, but he was really, really hurting. You could see that he was hurting, and he hurt a lot earlier than I thought he was going to. He had to talk himself out of a really sticky patch.
And yet, Shalane, when he crossed the line and then he sprinted back and starts high-fiving people, it just shows you the euphoria. If anybody's thinking about starting running, that euphoria and those kind of bursts of hormones and energy and everything that comes with feeling great when you run, that was it right there.
Yeah, if he hadn't broken 2 hours, I don't know you would have seen him sprinting around like that, but he achieved this lifelong goal, and that euphoria carried him and gave him the energy to give the high fives, run up and down the road. I mean, I was chuckling. I couldn't believe after that type of a athletic feat that he could have the energy, but it's truly that surge of energy of just having this accomplishment to his name.
I've not seen anything quite like it with the photographers. They're going again, the photographers, as he comes back over. They were kind of fighting with each other. It was like a scrum. It was like a proper paparazzi scrum, because they know what they're seeing is just incredible, and they are privileged to be here. Let's take a little look back, shall we, guys, at the last kilometer, which was this is where the celebrations truly started, Shalane.
He's truly racing against the clock and running towards history, and it was so fun to just see him in absolute full flight, no one blocking him, and to see his beautiful form that he has, and to see his wife waiting for him at the finish. It was just clear running, and you could just see the joy emanating from his body that he was going to achieve this goal.
Yeah, the moment for me was absolutely priceless. Was when everyone split, and you could just see them in the background, like raising their arms and cheering him on. That was the moment where you felt this was really going to happen. And there were people down here at the finishing line, they're still there, like who'd climbed up trees and done whatever they could to get the best vantage point of the moment.
Well, my own personal travesty is that I forgot to press record. I was holding my phone, I was so emotional, and so I have nothing but wonderful memories, and I'm pretty sure we might have pressed record on the production today.
I'm sure.
So I'll go back and watch it again and again. But it was there was just a sense and kind of collective and a community intake of breath, because everybody here knows that they have witnessed something truly special. And as you say, when they peel away in a few moments' time, the pacemakers, which was obviously a preordained, an orchestrated move, that this is the moment he will go and this is his moment, and that was where it became like a racing kind of environment, but without anybody to race, just the clock, and it was all about the clock today. And he was getting the crowd going and he was whooping them up, but they didn't need to be whooped up because they were so with him, and they were already at the finish line cheering and singing. We had some wonderful singing. Did you hear it in the commentary box? There was some
No, we didn't hear the singing.
No, we had some fantastic Kenyan singing going on as well. There was a party atmosphere, and because of the fog, it's ever so slightly misty. It's even more evocative, isn't it? And the man emerging from the mist is the man who will go down in history, Eliud Kipchoge, and his official time of 1 hour 59:40.2. An incredible feat that all of this crowd here will remember for a very, very long time. Ed, you've written so much in this area, you've researched in this area for so long, and we talked about the cynics coming into this who said, well, he's got pacemakers and he's having carbohydrates and he's doing things that you can't do to get an official IAAF world record. What do you think they're thinking now? They're surely, if they love this sport, they're feeling as joyous as everyone around here.
Well, I think that you couldn't help but be affected by the scenes that you're seeing, the joy, the evident joy. Now, what this performance will help to do, perhaps, is, but you can't have that without this first. So this is the kind of pioneer moment, and then there'll be another pioneer moment. But what you have here is the real, this gorgeous feeling that running itself is very, very beautiful.
I think anybody here who hasn't had a cuddle is in line to get a cuddle. Everybody's hugging him, everybody's cheering him on and giving him high fives, and the team members of Team INEOS, who are wearing very distinctive jackets, all giving each other lots of cuddles and hugs, because although this has been almost a year in terms of conversation, it has been about 5 months of absolutely every day back-breaking work in getting this here. The project managers working out everything from making sure that the course was 26.2 miles exactly. You think about if it had been a metre short, it wouldn't count, so all those things, all those details, making sure that every single part of his preparation was perfect. The lead up this week, of course, you can imagine that, that's a lot of people to make that come off.
And it's a lot of pressure for Eliud, knowing all these people are helping him. It uplifts him and it makes him want to work hard and dig deep for all those people. But it's also, a big big team behind him. Thousands of people are here to make sure every detail is just perfectly orchestrated.
He would not have wanted to let down anybody today. You know, everyone's turned up for him, and he didn't want to let anyone down, and he certainly didn't. Look at that now. That's such a nice moment.
Now, the question that Radzi, I mean, it was an emotional time at post-race, and of course, it's not the question that first comes to mind, but the question I'm going to ask you two that we didn't hear, do you think he has one more big marathon in him? Has he got an Olympic Games in him? I mean, you would not forgive this man for turning around today and saying, guys, I'm done with running 26.2.
Yeah. We believe
we think he's got the Olympics. My feeling is that one of the great African running heroes, Baby Bikila, won 2 gold medals, and he wants to do the same in the marathon. He wants to win back-to-back gold medals, and then I think you could comfortably say, put your feet up, you know, enjoy the farm, you know, spend some time with the kids.
There are loads of running legends around here, but one of those, Wilson Kipchoge, is with Radzi. Let's hear his thoughts about what we've just seen.
From near and far, I think you've all made this experience as special as it was.
In the 800 metres indoors, it still stands. David Rudisha broke the outdoor one, but Wilson, as a world record holder and a Kenyan one at that, what did you make of what Eliud just did?
No, this one I think, thinking about my world record, making history, but this one is really a big history. Running a marathon, the speed Eliud was going, is unbelievable. I cannot even describe, because today I was crying. I've been there in that stress, but being here today and witness this record, unbelievable. I have no word to say, because I know Kipchoge, I have seen him, and I'm here to see the history being made today, so it's unbelievable for me.
Because you know him personally, what can you tell us about his character that results in what we've just seen?
The way I see his character, it reminds me when I was training, concentration training was nothing else, It's only running, staying even at the training camp, not driving, you eat, you sleep, you train, you sleep. And that's really, the person I miss to see so many athletes to do what Eliud is doing. And being in Eldoret, going in the Kaptaga training camp and watching him training there and seeing him being humble and down to heart.
Right.
So that's really, he touches me. His person, he knows what he's doing, and he wants to make history in the world.
Because he makes it look so easy, you almost don't realise that it's difficult. Could you describe how difficult it is to take your body to that place and stay there?
For me, I was surprised to see him running, let's say, every kilometer in 250. I think I cannot make it that in even if I have to run only 800 meters. So staying in that really is a mental part of it. This one is you train day in, day out. Even when you are sleeping, it's like you are calculating. Every time you're eating something, it's like you are counting. How many spoons you are taking. So it's really a big concentration. It takes a lot of energy and it takes a lot of time.
Wilson, it's a special day. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Well, Eliud, in his interview earlier, talked about inspiring people to run and inspiring people to do things that they never thought possible. And the running community, of course, will be loving this. But I think it also transcends, doesn't it? And people thinking, yeah, do you know what? I can do that part run or something. You start off small and you build and you build. And that is the message of any athlete's career.
Very positive outcome of this whole event if more people just went running once a week or something like that. That's what he's interested in. That's what he wants to use his new prominence for. He wants more people to take more exercise. He wants to make it a running world. That's what he says.
What would you like to see, Shalane, be the legacy of what we've experienced here in Vienna?
I hope that the future generation is inspired and motivated to go chase that audacious goal. When he set this goal of breaking 2 hours, it seemed absolutely audacious. I didn't believe it could happen within my lifetime. And so I think whatever people have that they're dreaming of that seems audacious, just go for it and to just see if it's possible. You may not make it, but just the journey of trying to make that achievement is worthwhile.
Shalane, Ed, thank you so much. It's been wonderful sharing this fantastic experience with both of you. And of course, Crystal and Radzi are still out there as well. One man has done what many thought impossible. He has broken barriers that are akin to a 4-minute mile, putting a man on the moon. He's done it with a lifetime of endeavour and hard work. And that man who's made history today is Eliud Kipchoge. Goodbye.